This is going to be a totally self-indulgent video, and for that I apologize. But I'm going to speculate about why people don't like me. This may not apply to you. Probably doesn't apply to you. Maybe some things might. But obviously I don't know why people don't like me. How do I know people don't like me? Well, I don't have any friends. Don't get invited to things. When I do go to things, people avoid me. I can tell that people like each other because they laugh and they smile. But when they talk to me, they stop laughing and they stop smiling. They get serious. They go quiet and they look away and they move away, try to put distance. So I know they don't like me. And when I have friends, I do get friends occasionally, but over time they get distant and they start distancing themselves from me, and I don't hear from them anymore. So why is it that people don't like me? I have some theories. I'll never know because they're not going to tell me. But let's speculate. Let's throw out some ideas. I'm kind of awkward and different. I have a sort of stilted way of moving and speaking and thinking, sort of halting, not smooth, not natural. It probably makes people uncomfortable. I am kind of unpredictable. I'm kind of emotionally unstable. A lot of this is me. I do some acting because if I want anyone to like me at all, then I act in certain ways that I think will make them like me, like sucking up to them or making myself smaller, acting like I'm nothing or I'm nobody or they're so great and I'm so interested in them. I mean, I am interested in people to some degree, but I really exaggerate it sometimes if I want someone to like me. It's kind of short-sighted because if I don't have the energy to keep doing that forever, then at some point they're going to catch me when I don't have the energy, and then I'm not going to give them the validation that I trained them to want from me. And then it's going to feel like I'm rejecting them or I'm somebody different or something like that, when actually I'm just reverting to who I actually am in the first place that nobody liked. So then they'll get resentful and reject me, so that's probably something to do with it. Maybe the moral of the story is don't try to act in order to get people to like you, because it's not sustainable. It's going to backfire. But in my case, whether I act or don't act, they're going to reject me anyway. But if I act, at least they'll accept me for a little while, and that's better than nothing. What else? I don't do things that other people do. They talk to each other about sports and their different sports teams and all the things that have gone on, and I just don't know anything about it. I don't follow it. I have zero interest. They talk to each other about movies, about what's come out and what they liked, and I just don't understand movies. Like, I try to watch them so I can kind of keep up with what people are saying, but I don't like them. I don't enjoy them. I watch them as research, not as enjoyment, so there's something messed up there. They talk about celebrities, and I just have no interest in that. What do I care about a celebrity? I'm never going to meet them or hang out with them, so why do I need to know who they are or what they've done? It just seems like kind of, if you're obsessed with celebrities, it seems like you're kind of holding yourself as like a small, unimportant person, whereas this person on the TV or movies is like a god or something, and they're better than you, and I just don't see it that way. They're pawns of the system. They're manipulating you. So yes, they're more successful. They have more access to power and resources, but they're not gods. They're just people. They're certainly talented at certain things, but it doesn't make them inherently more worthwhile as a person. But anyways, this disinterest in pop culture and all this, it's probably has something to do with it. I never like to go out and do things. I don't like to go hiking or go skiing or go shopping or go to a restaurant or do anything, really. My ideal way of hanging out with somebody would be to sit quietly somewhere and discuss something, talk about stuff or just talk about nothing, just hanging out. I like that. But when it comes to actively doing things out in the world, you got to navigate these unfamiliar spaces and navigate these people you don't know, these strangers, and manage how you look to this and that person. It's just overwhelming and it's too much. I don't like any of that stuff. Going to bars, going to movies, or anything. I don't like to do anything. And who would want to be friends with someone who doesn't want to do anything ever? So when I would be friends with people, I would force myself to go to these things, and I wouldn't enjoy it, and they could probably sense that I didn't enjoy it. And well, when this guy's around, he never seems happy or to enjoy himself. So that would make sense why they wouldn't like me and wouldn't want to be my friend. I do have some good traits. I'm trustworthy and honest. They can always depend on me. When I say I'll do something, I always do it. I can talk about topics pretty well. I have a pretty good understanding of a lot of things, but I don't think people really value that. I think they kind of more want to just ping pong off of each other nonsense. They don't really want to get deep into analyzing things. So that particular strength and quality of mine, I don't think it's seen as very valuable. What else? I'm not really, I'm not improving the gene pool, I'm kind of a skinny guy. I'm small, I'm not here making our species stronger and better, so they don't want me around for breeding purposes. I'm not in that popular group, so they probably don't really want to be associated with me for that reason. People tend to want to be associated with the attractive breeding material. What else? Why else wouldn't people like me? I don't know about, trends. I don't know about fashion, like clothing and things like that, accessories, hairstyling or whatever. I just come as myself, and that probably annoys people, especially if we go to some outing or event that requires a certain dress, but I don't quite have it figured out, and I'm not quite put together, so that could be embarrassing and awkward for people. I tend to have certain specific interests that I like talking about, and I won't talk people's ear off. I mean, I can understand if they don't want to hear about it anymore, I won't talk about it, but then I just kind of have nothing to say. So that could make someone not like me if I just don't really seem to have much to say. Even though I do want to say a lot of things about a lot of different topics, people don't really want to hear about those, so I can tell that, so I just kind of keep my mouth shut, and then they think I'm shy. It's not that I'm shy. I'm really not shy. It's just that when I talk to people, they don't want to hear what I'm talking about, so I learned not to do that. And I don't really know how to play this tennis match game where you're just laughing and having fun and bouncing back and forth with each other. I don't really have I have a sense of humor, but it's very strange, very niche. I don't have the mainstream sense of humor, so I'm not capable of joking and laughing like they do. I notice that they kind of seem to abuse each other a lot, and I think that's funny. They like to make fun of each other. They like to point out flaws with each other and give each other a hard time, or I was just joking. They say stuff like this, which I never understood at all. Why would you abuse your friend? It doesn't make any sense. But they like to do this, and I can't participate because when they do it to me, I just feel insulted and I don't know what to do, and it's awkward. And I don't do it to them because I don't know what I'm doing. So what to do? Can I change any of these things? Should I change any of these things? I don't know. I mean, like I said, I've tried. I've definitely made efforts to go to things I don't like, pretend to be someone I'm not, and none of this really works. So I don't think that's the solution. I don't think if I keep trying 100 times, I'll get it. I don't think that's really how it works. I think I'm just kind of born and destined to be this weirdo. And maybe I'm supposed to be isolated, or maybe I'm supposed to just endure until I meet other weirdos. And then we can both, since we both kind of learned a lot of patience and tolerance from our interaction with all these people over our lives, then we have a lot of patience and tolerance for each other, so we can both be weirdos, and no one's really bothered by it. And maybe that's how it's supposed to be. Maybe I'm only ever supposed to have a very small number of people that enjoy interacting with me, which is fine. I'd much rather be myself and be lonely than struggle and try to pretend and be with all these people where it just doesn't work and doesn't fit. So those are some of my ideas about why people maybe don't like me. I've been fired from a couple different jobs as well, and they gave me no reason. And it felt like the reason was because my coworkers didn't like me, and I didn't mistreat my coworkers. I wasn't lazy or anything like that. But there were moments of tension and awkwardness where I didn't really understand what's going on, and they didn't seem to kind of want me around. So I feel like they kind of collaborated and pressured management to kick me out. And the fact that this would happen at two different companies shows me that there's a pattern. They say if it happens once, maybe it's a problem with other people, but if it happens more than once, it's probably a problem with you. And I accept it's a problem with me, but what can I do? This is who I am, I could work on it. You can work on it and improve. Oh, improve. You think I can improve? I'm not so sure about that. I think this is just the way it has to be. So I've lived this way a long time, and I'll keep living this way, I guess. I don't see what could ever change it at this point. But I hope you found that a little bit interesting. Maybe you're a weirdo too, like me, in which case I'll say hello and welcome to my weirdo channel. So I hope you enjoy your time here, and leave a comment and let's have a little weirdo discussion. Why not? All right.